when you do this intro so many times because you keep saying Yoda, but it should be Yoha, Yoda, Yoha. Am I even saying it right? Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Yodha. Well, if I'm even saying it right. What's about pretty simple premise. It is a hijacking in about 2003, 2004. And there's an air marshal who, he's up there. But the people on the ground thinks he's the one that's hijacking. Why do they think he's the one hijacking? Because back in about like 2001, 2002, 2001, they're dismantling this organization that his father built. And they're thinking he wants revenge because he also has 3 friends that are in the Pakistani prison that they want to release him, which they really don't explain those Pakistani friends and how they got there, or his Indian friends in the Pakistani prison. They don't explain how they got there. Anyway, is that the reason why it's being hijacked, or is it more nefarious reason? Because down below, not in the hijacking, there is a summit going on where Pakistan and India are going to discuss a peace agreement. But there's also, I want to say, a region, Kashmir, where these people are saying, hell no, we don't want this peace. So, did I like this movie? This is probably one of the worst, talk about intros that I've done. But anyway, it's a cheesy action film through and throughout. If you want decent action set pieces, if you want good twists and turns, I think you're going to like this film. Yes, is it generic when you actually get the whole puzzle piece? Absolutely. Is there some kind of nefariously bad CGI? Absolutely. But you know what? Take that out of it, you get somewhat good funness through and throughout. So talk about the positives. Like I said, when there is some action set pieces, it's pretty good. A lot of people die. And what I mean by that, there's a scene at the very end, like the third act, very end, where they're marching into this hall, right? And, you have the Indians going in and you have the terrorists coming out. People are dropping left and right. And there's someone where he's talking to someone. He's like, you can't go in. We need to negotiate. Clap. He's dead. People go in and clap. They dead. So it's like, damn, a lot of people are dropping like flies. Should you be a little bit more careful for going in, a little bit more strategic? That's all I thought that. But when getting into the building, there's some good action set pieces. In this plane, there is some good action set pieces. Yes, there's a kind of a cool filming of a plane going, doing a barrel roll twice, even though there's no way that would happen with that plane. But it still looked pretty cool. I would say the acting is pretty good overall. There is some drama in this movie that does connect with him trying to keep this organization alive because of his father, a divorce happening, something with his mother, also the people that he had this organization with kind of disbanding, and there's someone, the connecting the dots here and there. So there is some good stuff there. There's also some good twists and turns. As someone who doesn't know that region that much, doesn't know the conflict between Pakistan and India in the borderlands in the Kashmir region, that you're like, okay, you get some good, I want to say historical nuggets, but reasoning why this is in 2003, 2004 area. Because little did I know, in this time of India, there has been a lot of hijackings. Yes, of course, there's 9/11. Of course, there's the Olympic Israel, Iran hijacking. So the more I think about it, there has been a decent amount of plane hijackings throughout history, the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. It hasn't really been today, but it is a good time period because, like, I was doing some research of, like, why would they choose the movie to start in 2001 and then go a few years later to, 2003, 2004? Well, there has been hijacking. So I was like, okay, that's an interesting and good premise to put into that movie. So there is that for the storytelling. And like I said, the twists and turns is I didn't see them coming at a point of, like, who's the bad guy and who's not, because I didn't know who was connected to who. And I think that is good as well for, an outsider looking into this. So when I look at the negatives, I do think some of the action set pieces falter the movie of the cheesiness of what it was trying to do. I mean, I love movies that are very patriotic to the nation. And there's I would say this cheesy yet pretty badass smoke signals that do the Indian colors. And I think, yeah, it's like kind of cool, but cheesy at the same time. And it's like, but I prefer it because, like I said, I love movies that are from the nation that try to, like, just promote themselves as being very patriotic. But there's difference between like nations like China doing it, because China very much is almost feels like propaganda. People say, oh yeah, Americans make it with like, American flag movies like 13 hours, etc. like that. I disagree. It's trying to tell a story. And that's the same thing with this one. It tries to tell a story within a time period where things were happening in Pakistan and India at the same time. So even it's having its nationality as patriotism to it, a patriotism to country, it still is trying to tell a story about, historical relevance. China doesn't do that. China does this weird, patriotic thing, but like bashes people at the same time. This wasn't bashing people. This was also bringing in Pakistan and saying there are some good people, which is very interesting where this movie opened up with Bangladesh. When I was in Saudi Arabia and there was workers there, Saudi Arabia would not let people from Bangladesh in the country. Same with Afghanistan. So I thought that very interesting that, that we don't know this region. Because when you think about America, we have Canada, we have Mexico, and then we have water. But other regions, when you get to the other countries, it is a lot more complex. And the more you look at a map, you more realize, oh, snap. America's kind of lucky when it comes to like people not going to be able to attack as much. Like I said, twists and turns. I really did dig it of who they were coming from, what their motives were, and what they were trying to do. And also the final negative I would say is the CGI. Some of it was nefariously bad, especially with the plane trying to land between this mosque and this town or in a hall. It just didn't look good at all, which I understand that they didn't have probably the biggest budget for it. It was more about, the production design of inside the plane, inside the hall, that they needed to put it there. But yeah, it kind of took me out of the movie when it was trying to be kind of like action set PC, especially when she was flying the plane and it was a complete green screen on the back. You're just like, where you are in the sky, where you're trying to be, and where you're at just doesn't work. So overall, Yodha, it's a fine action movie with an hijacking, stuff happening on the ground, will peace occur, and there are some nefarious actors involved about, something that occurred in his past. Yes, cheesy, absolute when it comes to the action. However, maybe cheesy action is all someone needs in their life, though. And even if that cheesy action includes a drifting airplane. So Yodha will receive a 3 out of 5 with Futon. It goes at 60%. So to the critics, new scores gave this one. So it looks like we have a 58 with 12 of them critics, a 79 with plus 50, no critic consensus. So overall, yeah, if you just want to watch a fun Indian patriotic film where they love their country, sure, watch it. So yeah, 58, 79, 60. Chase Leak here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing is Bhuvatopia. You Bhuvatonians, thank you for watching. A great day. And I can watch this tape tomorrow, week, from month, for a year from. I love every single freaking one of you. And I probably should, read up on this whole, Borderlands. Because the more I think about it, the more movies I've seen where it's really based in that region.